Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So today we are finally achieving the goal of my series, which was Road to Ultra Nightmare. The amazing thing about this is the fact that we are at day 53, guys. Day 53, and I am actually able to 4-key Ultra Nightmare. 53 days in, 4-key Ultra Nightmare. That's all thanks to Helicath. Like, this champion is just insane. It's just insane. You saw in the previous video that I could 4-key Nightmare. I showed you the champion and the teams that I was using. But while I'm working on my proper team to try and get it, you know, even higher to a 3-key and hopefully at one point to a 2-key, I'm just using what I actually have. Because, like, at the end of the day, all accounts are different, so you always have to use whatever champions you have at your disposal and make it work. So for example, for my team, I am using right now Helicath, obviously as a core, using Frozen Banshee as the lead, Silesia for decreased defense and buff extender, Elhain just for raw damage, because, like, you know, I don't have anybody else that would fit better in there. I don't think Bival's gonna do more damage, and at the same time Bival's shield could make things trickier, plus I don't have him fully booked, so, you know, maybe the leech would be helpful, but I want to specialize Bival more towards, like, the dungeons possibly. However, Helicath is so good that he helped me in dungeons as well, you know. So let me first show you the preset that I have for this exact team. So I already did the key, you saw it quickly in the background, but let me show you the presets that I have. So this is my Clan Boss team that can do 4-key Ultra Nightmare. Frozen Banshee, nothing. No preset, no nothing. It's obviously only one round, so the other rounds do not count in Clan Boss. It's only one round. Silesia, made sure she prioritizes the decreased defense and then prioritizes the, you know, the debuff extension. Marked, I locked out her A2 because I do not want the decreased accuracy debuff to be there, so for when I'm gonna bring somebody else for more poisons and stuff, I do not want to have the decreased accuracy in there to, like, fill up the debuff bar, because, you know, we can only have 10 debuffs. Elhain, I made sure she uses the A2 and the A1 as well. The reason why I did this is because sometimes she doesn't like to use the A2, she just likes to use the A1, but if it's wrong affinity and she doesn't crit, she doesn't do the double hit. So that's the reason why I made her, forced her use the A3 as well. And then Helicath, I just made sure the A3 is priority, and then the A2 is the second priority. As you see, I still do not have this one booked. So I showed you the preset on how it was supposed to be on the previous one. Let me show you how the preset looks on Nightmare. It's nothing too complicated. It's kind of fast and easy. It's like everything goes okay. Okay, so I clicked, I was just gonna try to move and I clicked something wrong by mistake, so give me a second, be right back, as I need to restart the game. Okay, so we are back. Let me move myself a little bit out of the way so we see what's happening. And basically the way it starts, you straight up start with the A3 from him, auto everybody up until you get to marked. So just auto, stop at marked, A1 with marked, A1 with Helicath, and then from here on it's full auto. That's all the rotation that you need to do for Ultra Nightmare. Because the way that this one works, like I explained in the previous video, the thing that you want to do, if you do not have Helicath's A2 booked to a 3-turn cooldown, then you can preset it in a way that you would always have the big shields to block the stun. So basically you're tanking the stun, somebody actually takes the stun and you get the damage. But if you build a champion that takes the stun good enough with not too high HP and decent enough defense, you can actually tank the stun to up like turn 43, I think it is. As you see, I don't have unkillable, I don't have block damage in here, and I'm tanking the stun. I'm using, like I said, Silesia for the decreased defense and, you know, debuff extension, Frozen Banshee for the poison sensitivity and poisons, Elhain for raw damage, Helicath obviously the core to, like, make this team work, and Marked I'm basically just using here to block the stun and have the increased defense at the same time. So basically, because she's putting the A3 just before the stun goes, Frozen Banshee does not take that stun, and therefore she can keep doing her skills, you know, her block, her poison sensitivity, her poisons, all that. If you do not have something like that to block the stun, you can just, you know, you can just take the stun. It's not necessary, it's not a must for you to block, debuff that stun. So for example, let's say we faced Affinity. My issue here would be if I faced Affinity, if I would face Magic, I would need to get a Spirit DPS in here, otherwise Helicath would be taking the stun. So the only thing that you need in this team is to make sure Helicath does not take the stun. So for this specific team, I'm gonna show you the builds, the masteries and the speeds at the end. But for this specific team, you only need Helicath not to take the stun. If, for example, we faced a Spirit, instead of blocking the stun with Marked, I would be blocking the decreased speed debuff. Because if that one lands, all the team will get out of sync, and you do not want to do that. You want to keep going as much as you can. So if I would face Spirit, like I said, I'll use her A3 just before the second AoE. So like just before this one, instead of having her use it before the stun, I would use it before the, what's it called, the second AoE. Something that could make this team work even better is if you had a Doom Priest and the speeds were just about right, or like a 200 rock, you could use them to cleanse the stun and to cleanse the debuff as well, but they would go in the spot of Thylesia, because they would have to always be the first one going after, you know, the debuff and after the stun. That's the only thing that would change. At the same time, I had several people saying, oh well, I have a problem, all my books went to do the A2. In the previous video when I did like do not book Helicath up until you check this, I mentioned to try and not fully book Helicath's A2. The reason for that is because if you see it here, I'm stopping it. See, everybody has 2 turn, 2 turn, 2 turn, 1 turn, 1 turn. Basically, if that one was, if this one's fully booked, then one champion will not have the shield. It would be the, I think it would be Mark actually. I would be the 174 champion. So if that would happen, basically, if the stun goes there, then you would not be covered because you wouldn't have the shield, so the champion would die faster. So that's the only thing. The only thing, if you fully book Helicath's A2, then you have to make sure that the 174 champion does not take the stun, because he would not have the big shield from Helicath to protect that champion. So that's the only thing. You know, it's not the end of the world. However, it makes it easier to tune to that way. Otherwise, there's another option. Like, you know, after he does the shield, you could have somebody come with the buff extender, like I don't know, if you brought a Godseeker or something else, that could work. But you know, at the end of the day, you're trying not to fill the slots in your team with too many champions that don't bring too much damage, or like, you know, debuffs or whatever things you need in here. So the only things that you actually care about here is, you know, bring decreased defense, bring weaken, bring poisons, bring as much damage. If you have ally attacks, if you have counter attacks, don't matter, bring anyone that you want. Just, he should not take the stun, and everything else you can do as much damage as you want. You know, get the War Masters in there, get everything going. And this team is just insane. Like, I still cannot believe it. I see that I got some bad RNG, and you know, the damage doesn't look as good this time because I had some resists for Frozen Banshee, for her poison sensitivity. I have some resists for Thalessia's extends, which, you know, it costs us some damage. You can get some of that RNG. You might have noticed that my Helicath does not place the weaken. That's because I'm not at the point there where I can, you know, get the crazy builds for him. So the way that I built my Helicath was I just put him to hit the right speed that he needs to be at, and I just pushed the slider on the optimizer for defense to the max. And that's it. You know, later on when I'm gonna get more people, more damage, they're gonna have like a consistent stun target with decent defense and all that, then I can build Helicath to have a little bit of accuracy as well, and, you know, take the places weaken as well. However, because I want to swap in my team, instead of Elhain, to bring in here Scabrius that brings weaken, leech and poisons as well, then I will not need the weaken from Helicath, so I can keep him doing as much damage as possible or having as fat shields as possible. You know, I could optimize him with 100% crit rate, which he doesn't have right now, but I could do that. I can bring him with 100% crit rate and as much damage as possible, because guess what? His damage scales off of defense, which is insane. At the moment, I'm running, for example, I'm running Frozen Banshee as the lead because the gear is not the best, and I didn't have the best accuracy, because for Roach Nightmare you need 230, 250 accuracy minimum. So after that, I could change it. I could not run Frozen Banshee as the lead. I could run Helicath because he brings a 30% increased defense to everybody. That basically means on the base stats, so not the overall. So for example, let's say Frozen Banshee's base stat is 100. By having base defense is 1000. By having Helicath in the lead, you will gain 300. So at turn 39, Frozen Banshee already died. I guess this was a bit of bad RNG. Usually this lasts till about turn 43. the team is still going, so I'm still gonna get some damage. I'm still gonna get damage in there. I'm losing from the poisons a lot, but they're gonna start dying one by one by one. Basically, the damage that I need to make this a 4-kill Nightmare is 17.5, like 17.5, 17.7. But look at this, because we have the right defense on people, they're not dying. This is still going. My previous key, I hit 18.84 million damage. So now I can still do it. Helicath, look at this. Helicath, basically, because of his passive, every time the AoE goes, he counterattacks. Because his passive says, whenever a champion that has block damage is hit, he counterattacks. So this is insane. It's still going. So basically, this is not going to be 17 point something, but this evens itself out with the other key that I did 18.84, like I said. And that one went all the way, obviously, till like 40, till turn 50, when we get killed by the AoE. But look at this. This is insane. 53 days in, like I mentioned, 53 days in, and I'm 4-king Ultra Nightmare. And I don't even have War Master marked. Mark is still level 50, so think about that. Mark's still level 50. We brought an Elhain in here that basically doesn't bring that much to the team, just to raw damage. So imagine this was another poisoner, another champion that brings weaken and stuff. The damage can go, you know, with the right gear and the right stats, the damage could go higher. So the biggest damage in here, remove myself, is obviously 6.8 million from Frozen Banshee. She didn't go all the way. Then 2.2 million from Silesia. Marked, obviously, barely any damage because we don't have War Master. Elhain, 2.8 million. Simple raw damage. Helicath, 4 million damage. He did 4 million damage, guys. That's insane. Just from his constant counterattacks and from his War Masters. That's just insane. Like I said, I'm looking forward to testing this out after I improve it some more. But guess what, guys? That's not all. You know what Helicath is really good at? He's a monster at dungeons as well. Look at this. He actually got me to do stage 20 of the dragon consistently. I just put a different preset in here to make sure it works the right way. It's obviously, that depends on your team. You preset it as you want. But the only thing I put is like, he opens with the block damage, then I lock it, so I have it for the second wave. As soon as I pass the wave, I don't care. Sometimes Frozen Banshee dies on the wave, sometimes she doesn't. As soon as the other ones survive, which they never die, because only one people, we move so fast that only one person dies on the waves, these 4 can do the boss part. They can do the boss part just with their War Master. So basically, Helicath is so good that in the same build that I'm using him for the Clan Boss, he got me to do stage 20 of the dragon. That's insane. Like 53 days in to do 4-kill Ultra Nightmare and Dragon 20, it's insane. It's all thanks to Helicath, honestly. I mean, I could have maybe pushed further instead of Helicath with Bivalve, but it might have been a bit trickier. But Helicath brings so much survivability and so much damage. It's, you know, I cannot praise this champion enough. It's insane. Let me show you the builds that I have on the champions, guys, in case you're wondering. So basically, the speeds need to be like this. Helicath needs to be the fastest. 246 speed, like I said, 246, and as much defense as I could. I still don't have all the gear max because, you know, lack of silver. I still need more silver. And the masteries that I used on him are these ones, you know. War Master, I mean, Life Drinker helps for other content. You want this one for more damage. Crit damage, War Master. And then here, I took Steadfast because I don't want him to take the stun in case we bring a different Spirit Champion. We put him in the lead, or even if we put him in the lead and we're not facing magic, he's not going to take the stun because of this mastery. Keep this in mind. If you want to dodge, if everything else is equal, you have all the same buffs, same affinity, whatever, the person that has Steadfast will not get the stun, will go to the next one. Because like usually the Clan Boss goes affinity, buffs, and then turn order. So if the person is in the lead should usually take the stun. If you put him in the lead and has Steadfast, he's not gonna take it. So I took this one. Obviously I took Shield Bearer because he puts shields, so I want those shields to be as big as possible. Same thing, I went down this route for bigger shields in case HP goes lower, and a little bit of accuracy because I think I'm gonna go down the Lord of Steel path after, you know, when I get all of the masteries and when I have silver to regear him again. Then the second fastest in the team is Stylesia. She's 186. And this build, guess what? She's useful for me even for the dungeons. She's still the fastest, 100% crit rate, some damage in there, and the accuracy to land her debuffs for dungeons and for the Clan Boss with the Frozen Banshee lead. Her masteries are kind of almost the same. You know, same thing. Crit rate, crit damage, lifesteal, War Master, even though you don't need lifesteal in this build, but again, for other areas of the game. Then the support tree with Master Hexer for a chance to extend that decreased defense. Then the next one, there's two champions that are roughly at the same speed, which is Elhain and Frozen Banshee. So Elhain is 176. It can be 176, 77, 78. Like they have to be roughly like the same speeds. 100% crit rate, decent enough damage. She's for, you know, she's my nuker basically for dungeons and nuker masteries. I'm not gonna explain everything, but yeah, obviously she doesn't need accuracy. These are the same masteries that I had before on her. Frozen Banshee, War Master. Like for Frozen Banshee, you do not care that you take Cycle of Magic because she's not somebody that makes your team fall into sync. It's just Helicath. So you can take this to have a chance to refresh that poison sensitivity in case you need it. Then after I finish the Masteries, I'm gonna take Sniper and Master Hexer for, you know, actually Sniper doesn't help, but Master Hexer for a chance to extending those poisons. Her speed is 178, 100% crit rate, accuracy that I need, and look at this, really low HP and decent defense. I will try, even when she's gonna be maxed, I will try to keep as low HP on her as possible, because as long as she's the stun target, if you have higher HP, then you will take more damage from the stun as it goes along. So you always, in this type of team, your stun target should have as low HP as you can and as high defense as you can. That's something to keep in mind. And then the last one, which is marked, is 174. She's the last one that goes, after it falls into sync, she's always the one that goes last in the turn order. And she's the one that puts the block debuffs for me. So I do not take the stun and brings the increased defense, which is kind of huge. So, you know, she's going to be awesome. I just need to get her to 6-star and farm her masteries. But at the moment, she does the job that she has to do, and she's amazing. So yeah, this is the video. This is the update of my account. 4K Ultra Nightmare, Dragon 20 on day 53. This is insane. I didn't expect this progress as much. I did grind a lot, to be fair. Like, I did grind hard, but still, I didn't expect this. I was gonna say, like, you know, maybe as soon now I hit Ultra Nightmare, I can stop. But some people said, okay, try to keep going, and, you know, get it maybe 3 key, 2 key, 1 key Ultra Nightmare. So I'm still gonna play this account. My next goal is obviously gonna be to keep improving the Clan Boss team, to try and get it close to 2 key to 1 key, and at the same time, I will be pushing for the progress mission to try and get myself closer to that arbiter, because, you know, why not? Why not? I'm enjoying this account. This is fun, and I think I'm still gonna be doing this to like maybe close to like August, when I'm gonna end it, and I have a different idea in mind that I want to start, and that's gonna be in the fall after summer finishes and all that. But enough talking, guys. This is a long one, but hope this is helpful for you. You know, hope you enjoyed my content. If you do, don't forget to subscribe. It costs you nothing, helps me a ton, and that will be it for today. See you in the next one, guys. Peace, love, take care, bye.